Welcome to America Reads Fun Learning Activities. Thank you for joining us to learn today. We are college students who create learning activities for kids. Our focus subject areas are reading, writing, and math. In this video, we will be exploring how the structure of a piece can impact its meaning. To start off, let's go over the structures of a poem and briefly discuss how poetry compares to prose. Both of these genres of writing are a form of literature. However, in prose, the author tends to express their thoughts and ideas in a straightforward manner. For example, books are an example of prose. Think about how some of the books you've read use things like formatting or perspective to impact your reading experience. In contrast with poetry, the author typically expresses experiences through a unique style of rhythm. In prose, ideas are organized in sentences and paragraphs, while in poetry, ideas are organized in lines and stanzas. When looking at the purpose of both of these types of literature, prose is often more intended for providing the reader with information and conveying a message through storytelling, whereas poems use a stylistic short form to convey their meaning in a more roundabout way. Now that we have compared prose and poetry, we're going to read a poem. Today, we'll be reading Bleezer's Ice Cream. This poem was written by Jack Prelutsky in 1940, and it can be found on the poets.org website. Please pause the video and take a moment to read the poem. Now, let's get to analyzing. Today, we're going to focus on the structure of the poem. Take a few moments to pause the video and write down anything that jumps out to you about the structure or formatting. Now, I'm going to be walking you through one method of analyzing poem structure. First, let's look at the title. Authors usually use titles to reflect the topic of the poem, and so it can be a good jumping-off point of what this piece of literature is about. For this poem, the title is Bleezer's Ice Cream. What can we tell about this poem from the title? We can learn that this piece of writing will be about something related to ice cream, and we know to look out for who Bleezer is. Another thing you should look at when analyzing a poem is the narrator's point of view. From the poem we just read, what can you tell me about the narrator? Please pause and write down what you know about the narrator. In the first line, we learn the narrator's name is Ebenezer Bleezer, and he owns an ice cream store. This poem is very direct in telling us this. Why do you think the author chose to structure his poem like this? We also learn that he owns an ice cream shop, which has very interesting ice cream flavor combinations in his store. Pause the video and write down what this makes you think or feel about Bleezer, and what you think his personality may be like. One thing this could indicate is that he is creative or has a unique personality. Now, let's go on to assess the mood/tone of this poem. Mood and tone refer to the feeling the poem gives you. Would you say the tone for this piece of writing is happy, sad, serious, or angry? Think about or write down how you would describe the mood, and what pieces of evidence in the poem support this. The mood is mostly cheery and exciting. One way the structure tells us this is how when Bleezer is talking about the flavors he offers, the flavors are all written in capitalized letters and come one after another. Try reading a portion of this section aloud and focus on how the formatting affects how you read it. Continuing to look at the poem, what else do you notice about certain stanzas and lines? Another tool the author uses is rhyming throughout the poem. The rhyming pattern used in the first stanza is A-B-A-B. This means that line 1 and 3 rhyme, and lines 2 and 4 rhyme, with Bleezer and freezing in the former, and store and before in the latter. This pattern is once again repeated in the last stanza. The part of the poem where the narrator is listing out the flavors is written in couplets, which are made when two lines become a unit through meter and rhyme. Let's look at an example. Butter, brickle, pepper, pickle, pomegranate, pumpernickel. Both of these lines have 8 syllables and end in kl sounds, pickle and nickel. This gives the lines a distinct rhythm when said. Paired with the absurd food choices for ice cream flavors, this adds to the cheerful and humorous tone. One other element to look for when analyzing a poem is the theme. A theme is the main idea or purpose of the piece of writing. A poem can have a multitude of themes, so it's okay if you have different answers. Let's practice an exercise that helps write a theme. First, we're going to list words we think of when reading this poem. Just write down whatever words come to mind first. Some words I think of are humor, cheerful, upbeat, bold, exploration, announcement, excitement, ice cream, joy, and experimentation. Next, let's cross out words that mean generally the same thing. In this case, cheerful, joy, and upbeat all mean about the same thing, so I'm going to keep joy. Themes are universal, so for this practice, let's also cross out words that are more specific. In this case, announcement, ice cream. Now we can use the words we have left to make a theme. Don't try to use all the words at once. 1 or 2 is usually best. One theme I found using this method is you can find excitement and humor in simple things. Pause the video and come up with a theme of your own. You can use the words from the list or come up with your own. Alright, so to recap what we've learned, some of the things you should look for when analyzing a poem are the title, the narrator's point of view, the mood and tone of the writing, look to see if there are any patterns in stanzas or lines, and finally, work to identify a potential theme. Now, these are only the building blocks. As you read and analyze more poems, you'll find a style of analyzing that works best for you. Thank you for learning with us today. We hope you return to our channel to learn some more. Please don't forget to comment if you have any questions, like our video, and subscribe. We will be back with more videos soon. See you next time!